If you manage a team, you are going to want to listen to the very end of this interview with business coach Andrew Laurie. You know, that's often where we get stuck in business. We grow to a certain point, we hire a team, but some simple ways of managing team can actually be the answer to help you scale your business. We also talk about strategy. What is strategy? Let's take a listen. What does strategy mean to you?
You picked on a favourite subject there, Michelle. It's great. It seems like if you add the word strategy or strategic to any other word, it just makes it cleverer. But that's not what it means to me. No, I think you picked on something that's really important. And unfortunately, it's absent from a lot of businesses. To me, strategy is answering in a very simple, succinct way why or how and where a business is going to win. It's not about a marketing plan or a sales activity. It's a succinct statement of, this is where we're going to play and this is how we're going to win. This is why we will be the winners in 3 years' time. It doesn't change often. It's not a quarterly exercise. And it very much then guides the plans and activities that you move forward with. So it's a succinct statement of where you play and why you're going to be the winner in that space.
Why business coaching for you?
I should emphasize that half of what I just said about strategy, I'm stealing. There's a great book, Playing to Win, which is a book about strategy. Anyone who's read it will recognize at least half of what I just said. But the question of why I became a business coach, I stole from someone else, Jim Collins, the great Jim Collins. The reason I'm a business coach is pure hedgehog concept, to use his language. And for those not familiar with it, the hedgehog concept talks about finding the thing. And he does it circles, like a Venn diagram. He's looking for the overlap between three things. Something you're really, really passionate about. And for me, I love business. I've been involved in big businesses, small businesses, corporate for a long time. And I enjoy it. I love the subject. I've studied it. So I'm passionate about it. The second circle in the Venn diagram is something you reckon you can be really good at, something you can be successful with. And by the time I became a business coach, I'd worked in big corporates. I'd built a really big company, a company with a couple of billion in sales. I'd worked in different parts of the world, in different functions, and I'd got a good qualification. I had a good MBA and degrees, and so I felt like actually I might have some skills here. So it satisfied that I think I could be good at this. And the last part that you can never forget, it's all very well being passionate about it and thinking I could be really good at it. But again, using Jim's words, it needs to overlap with how it can drive your economic engine. And I looked at business coaching, the ActionCOACH model, of course, and thought, actually, I know what Coralie, my wife, and I have as our ideal life. We know how we want to live, and we can build a business here that really services that well, that allows us to have that ideal life that we and our family want to live. So it's a really good overlap of the three questions.
You see so many companies hiring team maybe too early or not the right people. So when you're thinking about scaling a business and you're working with a business owner to help them, introduce, team, bring on team to their company to help them scale, what is the strategy that you use? What's the first hire? What's the first step?
I'm going to work backwards from what seems to be the most common and significant mistake and problem that I see in this. And unfortunately, the mistake often still exists when you've got 100 staff, and it exists when you haven't got any staff, and it exists when you have 3 staff. And when I work with, quite often I'll work with the founder, but I'll also work with their executive team, with their leadership team. And it exists at that level with some very sophisticated and impressive people. People don't put enough time, energy, and focus into this question. It starts with realizing that in the end, the quality of the people you get and how well they perform will be the defining question in the success of your business. There is no business in the world for which that's not true. Businesses, sure, you'll give me examples of business that's wildly successful because of its amazing product. Somebody had to build the product in the first place. Somebody has to support the product, service the product. So investing enough time, energy, and effort, recognizing that it's all about the people. And so right up the beginning, if you haven't got anyone, it's actually putting the time into, okay, the way forward for me is to get some people to help me. Plan out what the structure will look like. It might not be at the end, but further down the track. Okay, I'm a sole trader today, let's say, but the business I'm building in a few years' time should have this role, this role, this role, this role, and this role. In terms of which one comes first, as a rule of thumb, it's going to be one of two. For practical purposes, it's going to be either a role which generates money, a sales role, for example, a marketing role, because it's not that it's right necessarily, but for most people early in their business, maintaining cash flow is pretty important. If it's not a direct money generating role, measure it by this role, to what extent will it free me, the owner. I know in the first coaching business I built, the first one I employed, was actually an admin finance. It saved me half of my week, which meant I could go and generate the money. So the first role, I think it's going to be one of those two things. It's either got to generate cash or free you as the owner up enough that you can go and generate the cash.
Who's been the best mentor or coach for you throughout your career?
Can I have two different parts of my career? My first manager, straight out of uni, I was very lucky. He was a bit older, he's very experienced, and he was incredibly generous in doing everything in his power to help me and his other team, but help me be better. He took a lot of time to teach me, to empower me, to put me up in lights when they needed our team strategy presented to the board. He got me as his trainee to present it. He didn't take the glory. He didn't do it. He taught me the value of people. He taught me how to give feedback. And I had no clue what I was doing at that stage. And he just gave so much. So yeah, he was my first. A guy called Cole Williamson. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. But he's had an incredible impact on my career, my life, and he was fabulous. But that's a while ago. My first job wasn't recent. So more recently, oddly enough, I have a mate who actually started by coaching me in rock climbing, which doesn't have much to do with anything. But he's become my most effective recent business coach because he's got a remarkable way of an ability to get me to realize, confront, and progress. To actually realize where I am and where I need to shift and be willing to confront that. I've been fairly successful in coaching, and I plateaued for a while and got a bit static. And it was him that helped me make the breakthrough to move up in my personal coaching, to begin with BGB, to actually move forward, to confront the reality that I needed to shift and then to actually do something about it. So so Julie, he's amazing.
Hats off to you for committing to your learning by listening to this podcast. And if you'd like some help implementing some of these strategies, then click the link in the description to find your local action coach. They can help you put these strategies into action and take your business and your life to the next level. In the meantime, like and subscribe so that you're the first to get our next episode. We'll see you soon.